An ounce of prevention is far better to a pound of cure. That breast cancer is now the most common form of the disease in Britain and even worldwide. This country also has the highest death rate for the disease in the world. But survey also show that 9 out of 10 of us are willing to make lifestyle changes to reduce our risk of the disease. The truth is, much research is still needed to understand breast cancer and its causes fully. But there are certain steps every woman can take to help reduce the chances of developing the illness. Here are our top 10 radical tips to help avoid breast cancer. 1. Be intentionally aware of your breast. More than 90% of breast tumors are detected by women themselves, so keeping an eye on changes to your breast should be an important part of every woman's health care. Advice on exactly when and how women should examine their breasts has changed in recent years. Medics no longer advise women to examine their breasts every month in a regimented way, as they believe that this may cause them to become over-anxious. Instead, women are now advised to become breast aware. This means getting to know what your breasts look like in front of a mirror, and feel like, perhaps in the shower or lying down, at different times of the month, so that if an abnormal change occurs you can spot them at once. 2. Initiate breastfeed to your babies. Some research have shown a link between breastfeeding and a lower risk of developing breast cancer, although there is still no clear consensus on this. Researchers who believe there is a link claim the younger the mother and the longer she breastfeeds her baby, the better. The claims are based on the theory that breast cancer is related to the hormone estrogen. Many researchers believe the more our bodies are exposed to this hormone, the greater the risk of the disease. 3. If you find even a tiny lump, hurry to see your doctor as soon as possible. Research shows that many women delay going to see a doctor if they find a lump in the breast because they are afraid they have cancer. This is the worst thing you can do. Firstly, 9 out of 10 breast lumps are not cancer, so visiting your doctor will usually help you put your mind at rest. Secondly, if your lump is cancerous, prompt treatment could save your life. 4. Trace if you have a family history of breast cancer. Much research is still needed before scientists fully understand all the causes of breast cancer. But one thing is known for sure: genetic breast cancer accounts for at least 10% of all cases of the illness. It is thought that 1 in 500 people carry a faulty gene which can make them susceptible to the disease. Those most likely to have inherited breast cancer are those with many relatives diagnosed with the disease at a young age, women who have had a close relative with breast cancer in both breasts, and women whose family has a history of both breast and ovarian cancer. If your mother had breast cancer, however, it does not necessarily mean that you will develop the disease. If you are concerned that the disease may run in your family, visit your GP. If he or she believes there is cause for concern, you may be referred for a special test which can identify if you carry the faulty gene linked to the illness. 5. Lessen or remove your alcohol intake. Alcohol has been linked to breast cancer in a number of studies. Researchers believe this may be due to the fact that alcohol increases estrogen levels. But experts disagree about how much alcohol increases the risk of breast cancer. Some say that even moderate amounts are unsafe, while others claim that drinking up to 14 units a week, more than 2 bottles of wine, might even improve your chances of avoiding the disease. Until more research is done, doctors generally claim that drinking more than 14 units of alcohol a week, 14 small glasses of wine, over a long period of time can damage your overall health. 6. Be conscious on your weight. Obesity appears to increase the risk of breast cancer. Researchers found that women who gained 44 to 55 pounds after the age of 18 had 40% higher risk of getting breast cancer than women who fluctuated by only 4 or 5 pounds throughout their adult life. Animal studies have shown that reducing calorie intake by 30% can lead to an 80 to 90% reduction in the risk of breast tumors. 7. Take time to exercise regularly. Some studies suggest that exercise can reduce the risk of breast cancer. This is because research indicates that the less you exercise, the higher the levels of estrogen in the body. Half an hour of exercise 3 times a week is good for all-round health, may decrease your risk of breast cancer, and will also help you maintain your weight. 8. Avoid eating fatty foods. There is much debate about the link between breast cancer and diet. But there is evidence that certain Western lifestyle factors, particularly our high-fat diet, appear to increase the risk of the disease. For example, scientists found that although Japanese women have a much lower risk of developing breast cancer than women in the West, when they moved to the USA the women's risk was almost equal within 2 generations. Try to eat no more than 70 grams of fat a day. 9. If you are over 40 of age, go for regular breast screening. Although much more research is needed to determine the causes of breast cancer, one of the well-established key risk factors is age. 80% of breast cancer cases occur in women over 50. All women in Britain are entitled to free breast screening, an X-ray that can determine lumps in the breast, between the ages of 50 and 64. The scheme is set to be extended to women up to the age of 70 within the next 2 years. The government has published figures that showed the scheme is saving many hundreds of lives. In fact, by 2004 there will be 20% fewer cancer-related deaths among older women because of the screening. Currently, women of the target age will receive a letter inviting them to be screened every 3 years. 10. Learn to manage your stress. It's well documented that stress can cause all kinds of health problems. But a British survey in 1995 concluded that women who reported severe stress in the previous 5 years were 50% more likely to have breast cancer. Although there is still some debate over these findings, reducing your stress levels will undoubtedly be beneficial for your overall health. A recent report showed that 2 in every 3 workers spend 20 hours a week thinking about work in their spare time, and a third of us suffer depression on Sunday evenings because we dread going back to work. Every area of our health can suffer, from sleep and eating patterns to our mental health and sex lives. Reading a Bible is proven 5 times effective than reading other books. Praying regularly is also found effective to get rid of stress. Have a fellowship or bonding to optimistic and humorous people.